Beautiful people, and I do mean us emotionally exhausted, over functioning, spiritually led, but still hopeful people out there. Welcome to Healing Through Conversations, the podcast where we snatch wigs, enlighten souls, one heart truth at a time, darling. I'm your host, Lovely Brown, your infidelity recovery and confidence rebuilding coach. I'm also a holistic mental health advocate and your favorite advocate in a bold lip. And I will set a boundary in a heartbeat. Let's get started. This ain't your average healing chat. It's healing through conversations with me, Lovely Brown. Real talk, deep healing, zero fluff. And today we're going to get into why so many of us are majoring in red flags and minoring in self-worth. I cackled as I was getting this together because I was like, first off, don't call me out, which you're not going to do on my internet. Because knowing what a healthy relationship looks like doesn't mean we know how to build one. I did not know how to build a healthy relationship. I was 10 years ago old when I realized, you mean I don't love right? You mean I need to go to therapy? You mean my mental health is being beaten? Oh my God. Does it mean that I get to talk to somebody about what's going on with me? Because I feel like I'm falling apart. And I was at the time, right? And a lot of us are kind of stagnant when it comes to self-worth and understanding that we can be smarter lovers and we can absolutely have romantic competency within our relationships. And sometimes you just need somebody to put those words together. So the question is, why aren't you following me? Like, you know, you want to follow me. You just watching and waiting, trying to see if I'm going to do something weird. I am weird, darling. That's why you should follow me. You should follow me because I'm so hell-bent on creating this safe community where we talk about all of these things. When we break down what it looks like to be in a relationship with yourself, but also what it looks like to be in a relationship with other people. And sometimes we don't love ourselves, so we don't even know what it looks like to be loved by somebody. We're like waiting for them to show us what love looks like. But we have this innate need in us where we know what feels good to us sometimes when we have a clean slate. And that's what this video is about. It's about us looking at a smarter way to love someone. So the topic was, you deserve more than they try love. And I had to sit back and be like, a lot of us are raised to take bare minimum, right? We are raised to take bare minimum when it comes to relationships or love or how people love us. And then we also expected to give bare minimum. And if you consistently give bare minimum, you're raised above the rest. Somehow the bare minimum becomes like top shelf liquor versus if you're inconsistent with the bare minimum, it's like, well, you can't even do that right. When the bare minimum is the fucking floor. Okay, we're working on it. We're working on it. You know what? I said today, I'm going to work on me. I'm going to work on me, right? But a lot of us have been online and we've seen I want loyalty and communication. I want respect, safety, and effort. And it can be real cute. But if you don't know how to ask for it, and more importantly, if you don't know how to spot it when it's coming to you, like, can we say we never had it? Can we say someone never gave it to us? I don't know. I don't know. But a lot of the times we wait until a relationship is like halfway sunken in the middle of what the hell ocean to then start typing in how to save a relationship. Okay, so romantic competence isn't just for lovers, it's a life skill. And I think that when we think about romantic competency, we always put it in a sexual context. Woo! Working on my words. Or we put it in an intimate setting. But not all romantic chemistry is about soulmates. It really is not. So let me introduce you to a new concept to your toolkit. I always talk about having a mental health toolbox, and we put tools in that toolbox. And today we're going to be talking about romantic competency, not romantic chemistry, not soulmate delusions, competency, meaning a skill you learn and practice like yoga, taxes, taking these braids out without ripping out all of your hair. And it's not like fluffy stuff. It's about insight, knowing yourself, knowing who you are, understanding yourself. It's about mutual context. You matter and they matter. And it's about emotional regulation because we're too grown to still be spiraling over ghosted text and birthday letdowns. Like sometimes you just have to be like, that was my sign. Sometimes you have to just be like, that's my sign. Because we spend a lot of time begging people to stay in our lives to only treat us the same way they've been treating us from the beginning. And sometimes it can sneak in. At the beginning, you being love bombed, baby, you receiving hits of love all day, every day. And then 2 days go by and you ain't get nothing. And then because you addicted to being shrapnel down by love, you like, what did I do wrong? Nothing. They tired because they don't have nothing else in their toolbox. They didn't like pop, 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 pop. They blank, baby. Like the shoot is done. So now they start letting you down every couple of days, every couple of promises, because then they gotta put you back in your place. Like they've love bombed you so much that now you've let go of friends, you've let go of places you used to go. You don't drink the same coffee you used to. You're not texting people anymore. You're changing your job or letting go of your job. Maybe you're moving to a whole nother state. And then, whew, and then they take control of your life. And this is where insight, having mutual commonalities, and having emotional regulation really comes into play. Because a lot of us are so depleted from love. A lot of us are tired. We don't even want to be bothered. We're overtouched, overstimulated, over conversated. Everything is heightened, and then in comes a person who looks like they're going to take some of that burden away from you. But what they do is they isolate you. And now you're trying to figure out who you are, and or where did you leave yourself, and or if you were ever yourself within this relationship. And that's where we have to start working on self-awareness and really looking at the insight of who you are as a person. And are you aware of yourself and what you bring to your life instead of what you bring into someone else's life? So, insight into self-awareness, right? So sometimes we all have a habit of dating different people but having the same relationships. You must not be talking about me. But let me just say this. Maybe it's not just them. I'm not blaming you. I'm not blaming you. I'm just saying that maybe it's a pattern. So maybe inside of insight, it's understanding who we are as people. We're understanding the language that we need spoken to us, and we're understanding what makes us feel scared or anxious or fearful within relationships. We have to ask ourselves if we're actually looking for commitment, or if we just want the attention that feels like love. Because sometimes you may not want to be fully committed, you just might want somebody to be around to play. Two different things. So when you're getting mad evenly about each one of those things, something has to give. Or asking yourself if your partner is late because they're inconsiderate, or if they're chronically late to everything, including church. Like, still considerate, but are they always late? Or are they only late for you? And then you can ask yourself if you're mad because of what's currently happening, Or if there are outside factors, did your job get on your nerves? You haven't eaten, your hormones have spiked. Maybe it's the fact that you thinking to yourself, this is the last time I'm gonna put up with this. Ooh. But insight is also about accountability without shame, right? It's the moment where you say, okay, I need to get myself together because I want to be better for me. I want to do that without blame. I want to do that without shame. I want to do that without guilt. Because if you keep blaming other people for why you aren't growing, that kind of takes you away from the accountability side. And it also doesn't help you grow. It looks like you have a lack of growth emotionally for yourself. It also means that you are repeatedly victimizing yourself. And that is not how many of us want to walk throughout the world. Like, we aren't trying to be these sad individuals. And if you are, I would encourage you to really think about going to counseling, because majority of the people who have these extreme moments in their lives really just need someone to talk to, someone who can give them the language that they need in order to really dissect their lives. There, I I'm speaking very generally, and I shouldn't, but that I've very few people have I met who just want to be sad. A lot of people have so much happening on the inside that they can't express, that they don't know how to express, that articulation was never given to them, the freedom to talk about the things that are bothering them never even crossed their mind. And now you're in a relationship where you don't know how to talk about your feelings, your emotions, your wants, your needs, your desires. You don't know how to do that. Or if you do it, it's so aggressive and it's not done in a healthy way. And we just, we be loving on each other aggressively, but really we be toxic. We be pumping toxic things into each other's bodies. So let's talk about mutuality. Mutuality means that this isn't a one-sided love here. Like, we are looking at things from both sides. And let me be very clear. This isn't about us shrinking ourselves or silencing ourselves or begging for crumbs or the being a bottom feeder or whatever new sassy term that they come up with every time somebody wants to be in love and then somebody bitter comes along, right? Mutuality means I got needs and you have needs. It's we're both going to act like grown people and respect each other. And we're going to learn how to decipher if we love each other, if we love and like each other, if we just like each other, or if we don't have any of those feelings. It looks like saying, hey, I really want you to be here at this family event with me. I don't want you to just pop in and then like pop out. I really need your support being here. Or letting your partner go to the gym at 6 a.m. because it feeds their soul, their needs, their desires, even if it means that you guys don't always have cuddle time, like readjusting so that you guys can figure out how to make sure that each one of you are being fed into. It's also having really honest conversations about money, goals, plans, and the sacrifices that you guys are willing to make in order to make sure that the relationship stays at the level that you both want it to be at. And also understanding that you may not, one of y'all may not even know what that looks like. And deciding, like, hey, maybe if we talk to a counselor, maybe we can meet up and go to like a couples group. Maybe we can have some more conversation surrounding this, get some literature, look at a podcast, um, listen to an audible book, do something where you are actively growing in your relationship. Because I promise you that when you start to work through the trauma that you've been through and your partner is working through the trauma that they've been through, and you guys sit down and really have these super open honest conversations, when you start having disagreements, they'll be so much easier to negotiate through when you're actually working on it. Some people get stuck in the healing phase and they don't ever make it to the thriving phase. They just stay in the healing phase where they open up all these wounds, but they don't ever they don't ever work towards really healing those wounds. And some of that is just being stuck, because you can open up a wound that sets you back 5 years. And that's even inside of a relationship. But also discussing that even though this trial, this tribulation, this miscommunication that we're going through right now feels so hard. What result do we want to see from this? Where do we want to be from this? And you have to be so honest with yourself and your partner to say, hey, it seems like we're not aligned at all when it comes to um, resolving issues, when it comes to having open discussions about boundaries, when it comes to what it looks like to trust someone, what it looks like to have conversations about adultery, when it having conversations about disciplining your children, having conversations about running a household, having conversations about your financial stability. Maybe we need to really reevaluate if we should get married, because if we're naming major things and we don't align with any of those things, but we just real good at like having sex with each other, that may not end up being the relationship that is sustainable, right? It's love can be so interesting, because I think that love without liking, it's something about liking the person that you love that is so different than somebody saying, no, I love them. Mm-mm. Do you like them? Because when you like somebody, you will you will work really hard on respecting them. You will work really hard on being loyal to them. You will work really hard on educating yourself so that you can have emotional intelligence to have these difficult conversations. You'll alter your communication styles to be able to talk to each other back and forth. And a lot of us aren't prepared for that because we weren't taught that. We may not have seen that. And emotional regulation can be very difficult at times, especially when your senses are heightened and your emotions are are heightened. It can be your emotions are hiding when you're going through something like this. It can be so very difficult to maneuver. But when we are trying to not only protect our peace at all costs, we're trying to learn about the person who is standing in front of us and working towards them also protecting their peace, because sometimes our toxic ways, they start fist fighting before we even know that that's what we're doing. It's the subtle eye contact, it's the body language, it's the lack of communication, it's the I'm going to wear this outfit because I know they can't stand it, it's the I'm going to go hang out with this friend because I know they can't stand it. It's those little crazy mind games that we play that really affect the relationship. But when you love and like a person, you work really hard to not damage those things. Now, so you have unintentional things that are going to happen. Let's be very honest. Like, there's no perfect relationship. And you show me a perfect relationship, I promise you that they've had some things happen in their relationship that you'd be like, ooh, I don't want to do that. Yeah, I'm just saying it is. But I want us to be real about what it looks like if we spiral every time that somebody doesn't respond to us, or when when we don't get our way, and when we know that we're just anxious and we have to call it what it is some of us have a lack of emotional regulation. And emotional regulation isn't about pretending that you're unbothered. It's about being bothered and still knowing your worth. Like, sometimes when you are spiraling out of control, like, hey, I spoke to this person, everything was fine, we were good, I was good. The last time we spoke, we were good. Why am I tripping? Right? And then you have to ask yourself, if I know all these things and I'm still tripping, there's some underlying things that I haven't worked out yet. And maybe that's like 100 of us. All right, 1,000. All right, 1,000,000,000. It's 1,000,000,000 of us. We're trying to work on becoming emotionally regulated, and it doesn't always feel good to do that. Maybe it's the voices in our heads that say, I know I've been here. I want to lash out, but that's not going to help heal me or the relationship. It's saying, yes, I'm sad, but I'd rather be sad with standards than sad in a relationship that drains me. And that's not always easy, right? We have to normalize feeling everything, but not wrecking our own shit. Because let me tell y'all a little story, right? Let me tell y'all a little story. So when I was younger, still dating my husband because he's been in my life since birth, it feels like at this point, and I was so angry with him. And I broke an item that was really important to me because I was so mad. And my mom was like, we don't break our shit. You break their shit. And I was like, right, right, right. But it was too late. I couldn't fix. And it hurt my heart that I broke my own thing because it had absolutely nothing to do with the situation that we were going through. I was a little angry back in the day. I mean, I don't remember a lot of arguments, but my husband told me I was arguing all the time. And dissociative amnesia is a real thing. We'll talk about it in another video one day. But when you black out and then wake back up, it could be minutes, hours, days, weeks, years later, where you like have been just floating through the world, but like you really weren't here. You can really wreck your life over something that was not worth wrecking your life about. I'm just saying, like, sometimes we gotta just be like, I ain't like that shit, and it's time for you to go. And then, like, you gotta change the locks because we all know what rebound sex look like. It'd be the bomb.com until you really wake up and be like, oh my God, what have I done? And hopefully you ain't catch nothing in between that time. So when we're talking about romantic competency, I want us to look at this we'll tell a story. So you know how so many of us will say something like, I don't want to do anything for my birthday. Like, I don't want anything for my birthday. And then our partner listens to us and they like give us the space that we need. But then there's nothing done for your birthday and you start fighting and you're complaining to your partner about why they didn't do anything for your birthday when they literally followed your instructions. And I know we think that our partners are mind readers, but I'm telling you, my husband should not read my mind. His interpretation of what I said is whack, and I ain't doing that. But had we understood what romantic competency was, things may have gone a little bit different, right? We would think about like insight. Actually, if I don't want a gift, I'm going to feel unappreciated. I know that. You know, it's like if I don't really go out, I'm going to be mad about that, but I don't want to do something big. So elaborating, maybe I only want to have dinner with these 3 people and you, and we can chill. Maybe we can do something really small in the house. Maybe, you know, I just wanted to do movies and popcorn and pizza and just chill, having a bigger conversation. Having mutual commonalities, right? I'd really just like the gift that I asked for. That would mean more to me than a random gift that I did not ask for. Sometimes you have to be brutally honest with somebody because if you keep saying, hey, I really love pink socks, and every time you turn around, they give you red socks with, you know, yellow through them, you're like, yo, when you hear me say pink, what color pops up? So that you're not sarcastic and being an asshole when it's not really you being an asshole. It's just you asking questions. But you know how we get condescending because when your feelings get hurt, then you go on the defensive side and it get real mucky in there. Or really having like emotional regulation where you say, I feel guilty for asking for things because of what I went through in my life, but I understand that I am worthy of a celebration. How can I work through my own insecurities so that I can receive this gift that may bring me so much joy? And then say, hey, I I would love to do something, but I would like to keep it small. Maybe we can do something on the beach and just have a couple people come out. It's really just learning how to be very honest and socially aware of what you're saying, understanding that one person's version of celebration looks very different than another person's version of a celebration, and also understanding that asking for what you want isn't demanding anything. It's all in how you talk to people. It's you reading the room. It's you understanding the person that you're dating. The person that you're dating is always trying to throw big parties and have big parties. That is a party that they expect to have majority of the time. If you're dating somebody who is low key and really doesn't like to be the center of attention, they're going to want to have an event where they aren't the center of attention, unless you sit down and you say, hey, what would you really love to do? I want to make sure that you enjoy your day so much that when you look back at it, it just fills your heart with so much joy. What kind of things would really bring you joy? Or just listening to them, listening to their wants, their needs, their desires, the things that light up their eyes. And even if it feels like, ugh, I would be bored doing that. It's doing the thing that sparks a light in your person that makes them happy and joyful and brings elation and celebration, that kind of brings them out of their shell. Sometimes it literally, I saw a video and it was a lady who had a My Little Pony birthday party, and she was like 50 something, and she had never had a birthday party, and that was the only kind of birthday party that she ever wanted. When you see somebody smile that hard over something that we consider so regular, something so childish, it absolutely moves you in a way that doing something that they didn't like and they didn't want will never do. So, like, just think about that when we're having these really open conversations about romantic competency, and being smarter at love. A lot of the times it involves having such a higher understanding of communication, not knowing everything, but being able to communicate when you don't know something, when you feel something, when you want something, when you desire something, but also learning how to talk to each other so no one feels talked at. They feel like you are talking with them, you're speaking with them, you're breathing life into them, and they're breathing life into you. And if that isn't happening, again, like I always say, that's when it's time for you to reevaluate and really think, is this the relationship for me? Am I doing my part for this person, myself in this person, and vice versa? And really having those kinds of conversations. I keep readjusting this camera. It's insane. Anyway, so let's talk about research, right? One of the things that I am really big on is I want to make enjoyable videos, but I'm not trying to make clickbait videos. That's not my thing. I'm just not interested in putting out information that is ill-willed or incorrect or just to get likes or subscribers. Like, I really want people to take something away from the information that I put out. And sometimes I do fun things, but a lot of the times I'm really rooted in resources, information, um, mental health tools. And mental health tools is really to help us get through everyday things. So, some studies have shown that teen girls with romantic competency, meaning we're talking about all of these things really open, having these conversations super early. All of this, everything that I've spoken about in this video can absolutely be related to and or spoken to or have the language changed so that we are talking to younger people earlier about romantic competency, what it looks like to be in relationships because it's going to happen. But giving them more tools, giving them more options, making sure that they understand that self-worth is so important, self-reflection, especially in a time when your hormones are raging like the Tasmanian devil every 2 to 3 business minutes. It can be it can make you feel so insanely crazy. But studies have shown that girls with romantic competency have better mental health, make smarter relationship choices, are less likely to engage in risky behavior, less likely. We all be trying to get the thrill. The thrill is gone. No, it's not. It's running around in all of us at this point. And teen girls who feel more secure, supported, and hopefully, above all, more loved and liked. The same goes for adults. People who learn these skills earlier are better at identifying red flags before they become deal breakers. Like, hey, we're going to talk about this. Now, do we communicate well all the time? No. Hello, hello. Hey, hello, hello. Are you still talking to me like that? I'm working on it. I'm working on it. 1 second. Thank you. We learn to ask for what we need earlier. Again, all of these things are about communication. We provide and receive real support. We create environments that validate us, that help us feel seen and heard, that connect to us in a very soulful way. And some of us, we bounce back a little bit sooner with more grace and resilience. It doesn't mean that we haven't busted the windows out your car. It just means that that was the only thing that we did. Okay. We're not born knowing all of these things. We're not born knowing all of everything is learned. Everything is learned. And you have to really start saying to yourself, let me start teaching my children now. Let me start teaching my friends now. Let's really talk about how to love yourself, how to show yourself grace, how to show yourself resilience, how to receive support, how to provide support, how to ask for what we need, how to identify when something doesn't feel right before before betrayal happens, before you are flat on your back trying to figure out how the fuck to get up, because it can be so overwhelming. So overwhelming. So here's an assignment that I want you to do. Yes, you have homework because I need you to work on you, right? That's what we're doing. Okay. So, first, this is what you're going to do. We can't build healthy love if we don't know what it looks like a blueprint, right? Those are things that we really have to think about. So I want us to stop romanticizing struggle love. A relationship isn't healthy just because y'all are together. A relationship is healthy because you guys want to be together and you're helping level each other up. You're helping build each other up. That you're you're doing this without thinking about what you're going to receive from that other person. Like, you want to see them grow because you want to see them grow. Not you want to see them grow because if you're going to be with me, you will have to be. I get it. I get it. We all have standards and preferences, but I can tell you up front that love that's transactional, it dies really fast because everybody's idea of expectations looks so very different. It can really start to hurt a relationship. You got to learn how to I'm trying to think how to do it. You got to learn how to say it with your chest. When you ask for what you need, right? If you don't set the tone for your feelings, wants, needs, and desires, and you don't communicate those things, it can be real difficult for your partner to understand that. If you don't learn how to communicate without apologizing every time, hey, I'm sorry, but I really don't like that. Hey, I really don't like that restaurant. I know you do. I'm so sorry. 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 Sorry. I'm so sorry. No, we're not. We really don't like that place. I'm allergic to everything in that restaurant. I can't eat there. Every time we go there, I'm down in Benadryl. I don't want to be down. Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. And I want us to work on understanding and acknowledging our self-worth before anybody else does. And sometimes you may need somebody to talk to you about the things that you're good at, the things that you're great at, how you make other people feel, to realize what skill sets you innately have in you that make everybody want to be around you. It could be anything from communicating well to how you set boundaries to having great self-reflection, to always being trustworthy, right? It's all these little things that are so huge, but we don't think about those because we're so used to muting ourselves that we don't know how to pat ourselves in the back or be kind to ourselves. And I want us to know that romantic competency can be such a superpower in your life. It's not just about a boo, it's about you. It's not your beauty, it's your booty, that kind of stuff. And it's time for you to advocate for yourself. I'm so big on that. When you advocate for yourself, it helps you feel so connected with everyone around you. And I want you to remember that we are learning to articulate our feelings, wants, needs, and desires so we can better advocate for ourselves and the people that we love. I know you like this podcast has been all over the place, and it has. It's been recorded 6 or 7 different places, angles. It has been a day, is all I can tell you. And it's just hot. It won't stop being hot. It won't stop being hot. But I want you to remember that our podcast is streaming on the Alive Podcast Network, which is on Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV. We're also on the Alive Podcast app. We're on Pandora, iHeartRadio, Spotify, iHeart Music, and anywhere else that you can shake a tail feather and listen to some great audio podcasts. I'm just trying to, I said shake a tail feather. I'm just trying to make sure that I am providing the services that you need. You guys let me know in the comment section, like, what do you want to hear about? What things in relationships that are you thirsty to know more about, have more conversations about, questions? You can always send me an email at loveli at lovelyesteem.com. You can find me on most social media platforms at LOVELIESTEEM, Lovely Esteem. And I'm always uploading new guides or journals, just many things for us to work on when we're listening to podcasts like this. So I think I'm going to try to create a romantic competency mini guide for us to look at that'll have affirmations, journal prompts, and maybe just like some good self-reflection work in there. We'll see what happens. And I would love it if you could share the podcast with friends, coworkers, family, other ladies who are doing big things, because I am always looking for new community members. I really want to build this community. I'm trying to create a safe space where we talk about all of the things that encompass who we are as people, and to really unlearn accepting pain, but also learning how to talk about it so that we can get through it. So I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for being here. I want you to remember that you're not too emotional, you're not too much. And I am so excited that you are finally working on finding peace for yourself, because it is a requirement, not a bonus. I love you guys. Talk to you soon. Lovely out. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope you found some healing, connection, and joy. Until next time.
Bye,
da da
loves.
da 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 da